Hello and welcome. We're going to write another React hook, a custom one for our fixed element here, because we do have a problem with it. When we go down, it doesn't avoid the footer. You can see it dipping behind that footer. That's not what we're looking for. When we get to a point at the page that we're sure we're clear of the header and everything like that, we have quite a bit of room on top. At the beginning, the header is taking up most of that room, so we have a little margin here, which looks nice, but as we go down, this still has a ton of room on top, so when we hit a point on the page, we're going to move this element upwards towards the top of the page, avoiding the footer. So let's get to work on detecting where we are on the page. So head over to that custom hooks folder. That should be right over here. We have our use window size. We're about to make another one called use scroll tracker.js. So we don't need to import React itself, but we do need to import use state and use effect from React. And with that imported, let's get started. The const will be called use scroll tracker. Now, what we're going to pass it is an offset. We'll set that equal to 0 in the arguments and move from there. Of course, we could pass in a different number rather than 0 when we're using the scroll tracker. So this is our use of the scroll tracker with an offset starting at 0. We're going to make a const called toClose and set toClose. We'll set that equal to use state of false. So we'll have our boolean that we are going to flip if we are scrolled far enough down on the page. Now we'll set up use effect. And inside of use effect, well, first we'll set it up as a function as it normally is, like that. And now we will add a function to it called handle scroll. And this can also be an arrow function. Inside of here, we are going to do what we need to handle a scroll. So we're going to have something called added value. So added vals is fine. We'll let added vals equal window, and this is the window object that we're talking about here, dot scroll y plus window dot inner height plus the offset that's passed in. So what this is saying is where the window is scrolled to, the inner height of the window, so the size of it from top to bottom, and the offset. So those three things added together are our added vals. So the idea of having the inner height, what that really means is we can see from here down to here. So if we scroll down a little bit, we might already be at the bottom of the page, even though we only scrolled down a quarter of the page. So we do need that inner height available to us. Now there's something called document element. And it also has a scroll height here, but that's the entire height of the current document. So the current document that we have loaded is this entire height of this page here. That's what we're looking for when we're looking into document.document-element.scroll height. And I know that is quite confusing when there's scroll y and scroll height, but that's what we're looking for. And we're going to subtract from it the added vals and then set up a ternary. So if that minus the added vals is less than or equal to 0, and that's the question, we will set toClose to true. Otherwise, set toClose to false. And that's everything that we're doing. We're just keeping track of these three values and making sure we're not too close to the offset. Let's set up our event listener now. So window.add-event-listener. And we're listening for scroll. So if we get a scroll, we are going to pass the handle scroll function as our callback there. And there's one more thing to set here. It's passive needs to be set to true, and this should be an object. These are the options, so let's put that in an object. And this is for performance. This performs a bit better, so set your passive to true on your scroll event listener. Now let's do our cleanup. So we'll do a little return here where we clean this up. And in there, we just need window.remove event listener and the same event. It's scroll, and we'll pass it handle scroll. We're getting rid of that. We only want to set this event listener up one time, so we will comma and go ahead and get our dependency array going with nothing inside of it, like so. Now after this, we will just return, and we could return everything from here. And you know what? I think we will in case we run into an issue later where we can use this again. So we'll return too close. We could take that out of the object we're returning. Let's also have scroll y that will equal window dot scroll y. Let's also have the inner height, so window height, we'll call it. That says window height. That is your window dot inner height. And finally, document height. That will be the document element dot scroll height. I know that's a confusing one. That one threw me too when I was looking this all up. Finally, let's export this default. Use scroll tracker. So that was a little different than the first one that we made, a little more coding, but we made that first one, so I thought this might be a little bit easier. Head into your product fixed over here, and we're going to bring in the use scroll tracker. So import use scroll tracker from, and then we just have to find it. I'm pretty sure it's 2 up, custom hooks, perfect. So we have our scroll tracker ready to be used, and after these const on the top, we make a const and pull out too close from the use scroll tracker, and we need to pass it an offset. I'm just going to use 90 pixels for right now. We'll try that out, and then console.log too close. And let's give this a shot, see if it's working. So I will bring up, there we go. We have the console up now. It says false here, and it should. Let's go down, 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 down. There we are. We're true here. We've passed that area. It's now true, and now it's now false. So it is working. And yeah, it turns true before we're hitting that there. I imagine that's the case. Yes, that's the case pretty much everywhere. And like I said, I'm not looking to just avoid exactly the bottom here. I want to make sure that once we hit a point where we're pretty close to it, we can change it. It'll look fine that way. So let's set up a new class to do this offset. That will be in the product CTA. We just want to find our buy now. That's right up here. Inside of buy now, we will have our offset. So end dash dash offset. Now all this does is transform, and the transform is going to be a translate, and we just need the y. We're not going to translate any x values. It'll be -9 rem. And let me make sure I am running. So yarn run scss, so we could save it with that. And we will use it in our product fixed now. Now that we want the classes to change according to that, we will have a classes section in here. And let's call it fixed class. So fixed class will equal a ternary, too close, question mark. So if too close is true, what will it be? And it will be what it already is. That's the by now. We could paste that in there, and then we'll have the buy now dash dash offset. And otherwise, oh, there's 2 question marks here. That's a mistake. And otherwise, so here's our or. It's just going to be the first part, and that's what it is right now. I'll paste that in there, and we are set with our fixed class. So we can get rid of this, pop in the fixed class, and let's see if this worked for us. So we could see it is working. We watch it jump like crazy. As soon as it hits true, it's up there. It looks really jerky and not great, so let's actually do a little work on it. Now in the buy now, this is all the work we need to do really. Make a transition of all, and we'll give it half a second, so 0.5 seconds. Let's take a look at that now, if that's moving nicely. Yeah, that moves a lot nicer, kind of bounces up there now, and I like that better. Great, we have that working. There's a few more things to do before we're done with this page. I want to make sure that the sales are documented on this page just like they were on the homepage here, where if we had a sale on something, we had this, and then crossed out and next to it was the actual price. So let's work on that. We'll head back into product fixed, and what we're displaying now is the price, where the price is. I want to display whatever the sales price is or the normal price there, depending on if they're opt-in or if there is a sale. So we'll work on that by creating a current price variable. So right up here, I will make a const current price. That is going to equal the sales opt-in value. So if they are opted in for the sales, oh boy, I spelled that wrong. Sales opt-in. Oh, okay. If they are opted in for the sales and there is a sale. Now, if the sales opt-in is at 0 or, well, not sales opt-in. If the sale itself is at the price of 0 or undefined, this would be rejected. But at this point, it won't be rejected because we do know that it is defined. So we have the price times the sale, or else you're just returning the price as the current price. So if the sales opt-in is true and the sale is also true, we will have the price times the sale as the current price. If for some reason they aren't opted in or there is no sale, the current price will just equal the price. So let's make that quick change right away. We have this is now going to be current price. We'll save that. And there is a problem because it's not showing up. I'm going to guess I did something wrong. Oh, it should be, I think it's sale opt-in. That was a typo there. There we go. Okay, so yeah, now we're at 1/10 of the price, so $390 instead of that $3,900 that it was before. And next to the current price, we want to show the old price crossed out. So here we are on the current price, and let's write some JSX in here. What we'll say is sales opt-in. It's really the same question. Sale opt-in and sale, like that. And that is the question, and then we will return something here. What we'll return is, actually, let me wrap this. I like these better when they're wrapped. They're real easy to see. We'll return a div with a class name equal to, and then it is, it's all of this. Product CTA buy now bottom price, except we're going to write dash dash slash. And then we just close that up, and inside of there, we're going to put in the original price and the $sign before it. I think that'll look good. And actually, thinking about it, this shouldn't be a div. Let's change this to a span, because we want it to be on the same line. The div is probably going to bump us to the next line. So this is a span with a class name. And to quickly end the ternary, and if that's not the case, just return nothing, just null. We could save that up, and now we're going to see it there. It doesn't look good. We have to style it still, but we do see it there. Let's set up its styling on product CTA. And we need to get to the price. Where are you? There you are. There's the price. Now, and dash dash the slash. So here's our price slash, where we are going to have a font size of 1.6 rem, a margin left of 2 rem, give them some space between each other, and a text decoration. That will be line through. Got it. And here we are. We have that set up. It's looking good. It's avoiding the bottom of the page. That was a cool one to write. Now we want the page to change a bit when it gets smaller. We can see how this one changes at its smallest point. Everything gets to be as large as the page width, and it goes down to the bottom with our Add to Cart button. So let's take a look at what we need to do here. We'll head right into product-CTA, and we'll put in a breakpoint at buy now. So at buy now, we will @include, and it will be LG, so the large breakpoint. For this one, we have to change the position to relative from fixed to relative. So the display will now be flex. The width will be 100 viewport width at that point. And the background color, actually, let's keep that the same. There shouldn't be a problem with that. It'll go from the white to the light gray. And let's change the margin to 0, and we'll get rid of the box shadow by setting it to 0. Save that, and let's take a look at what we have here with the inspector. And it moved to the bottom. All right, we have a little more work to do here. This box shadow isn't what I'm looking for here. So I want that to be not 0, that's why, none. And now we have a pretty cool, interesting problem. So when we get too close to the bottom, what happens? It moves up because we have that class on it. So we'll need to get rid of the offset class. So offset, we'll write @include LG transform translate Y 0. And there we are on the bottom of the page like we would like to be. Let's line this up correctly. We could see we're in flex. We need the other flex direction. So we'll do flex direction column. And there we go. That looks much better now. Let's keep going. We'll go down to what we had labeled as the points medium. These guys over here, I'd like them to be in at least 2 different columns. There's a lot of empty space here. So having 2 columns would make this look a little more full. So we'll find medium. That's right here. Now in medium, we're going to @include. This will be @LG again for our largest breakpoint. And there we will do a display of grid. So a few things are going to change here because we're changing to a full grid display here. And we're going to use our trick again on the grid template columns. We want to repeat auto fit a comma to your min max values. And inside of there, let's make the min max values. We just did this. I think I did it at 30. Let's do 30 rem for the smallest and 1 FR for as large as it wants to go. Now we'll have the margin top. That will be 2.6 rem. We have the column gap. I'm not explaining this too much because we have done this twice now. So if you'd like to learn more about it, you could go back if you haven't seen the videos. We have the column gap, that'll be 2 rem. And the row gap, we're going to make 1 rem. And then we can take a look. What do we have? This looks pretty good. Course includes, and then it has everything coming across there. I think that looks pretty good. Could it go down there? That looks really nice. But that's not our only issue. Now we have this topics covered only taking up part of the page, as well as the alchemy of automation only taking up part of the page. So let's start with the call to action here. We'll work on that first. So back up to the top here. We have product CTA, and we need to get into the info container. We did that kind of later on. Should be down here. There it is. We have our info container, and what we want to do here is @include LG again, and in there just one real quick change, width 100, viewport width. There we go. This looks good this way. We have to do a very similar thing right over here. So let's head into product features. So that's right here. Head to the top, and the first thing we want to do is make an @include. @include LG. That will have a width of 100 viewport width and a margin of 0. Here we go. Now that looks much better. It's going the full width, and now we get 2 lines. If we go even further, we'll have 3. Oh, well, we can't go too far. Let's see if we get 3. Yes, we do get 3 right here, which looks pretty good. So our page is changing according to which device it's on, and we made this really cool fixed component that can easily turn into a no longer fixed component on the bottom of the screen here if you're on, say, a pad or a cell phone. This looks really good. You did a great job. Thanks for being with me on these videos. We're going to start moving to working on the back end. We're going to do Stripe payments. We're going to send emails when people sign up or make purchases. There's a lot going on the back end video. So please follow me to those videos on the back end. I'll see you there, and keep coding.